Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I was trying to put together a message, and then all of a sudden my building fire alarm had gone off, and there was actually a legitimate fire. Um, Everyone's fine, everybody's safe, everything was cleared out, but there is something about whatever it is that the energy is surrounding the collective that alarming things are going on, but there's something really cool about this new moon in Virgo that we just had. While the portal is now closed, there's this activation that is happening. Here's the thing, you're going to start noticing little glimmers, little hints. There are activations that are happening for those of you who have been resonating with my messages, where you'll start having weird, curious thoughts. And then you'll have these very interesting random images. Then you'll start seeing it manifesting in your reality. Sometimes it could just be as simple as a news headline, and your reaction is, wow, oh shit, I think I've been seeing this for the last couple of weeks. But other ways that this might manifest is, in my case, I was having some random thought about, I think I have a soulmate that lives at the at the firehouse down the street from where I live. And 20 minutes later, the building alarm went off. When in fact, I don't know who this soulmate is, but they showed up in my time of need at the base over here before I go to cut relief. Like, you're going to start seeing things. And I have to say, don't panic. Don't be alarmed. Just to recognize that you're seeing things ahead of time. And it's not to freak you out or make you freeze. It's just to let you know, hey, there's something that's going to be happening right in front of you. But because you have the pre-existing knowledge, you're gonna just start being lucky. It's as though you're just gonna start walking into situations and just knowing that you had the precognitive knowing that something could go down, and it means that you were led here safely, and it means that you can be led out of that situation safely. Interesting, we do the card of courage at the base. Like, this really feels as though a lot of that activation that had happened starting with the Lionsgate at the beginning of the month, and this culmination, because we are going into eclipse season. I believe we're going to have two new moon in Virgos, and it's sort of like you're in the in between at this time. And there's something about really just honoring and maybe having a little bit of fun with this psychic activity. So we got the card of affluence. And when I see this, is like supreme overwhelm, getting way too much data in your third eye. Divine masculine, jealousy. Ooh, I was actually seeing this card a little bit earlier. When I was attempting the first. Oh, this is funny, we got traffic color as well right here. When I was originally trying to get into this reading, I was seeing this card of jealousy. There's going to be an ask right now as you move forward, because you are moving forward. You're getting away from the state of overwhelm, trying to, you're getting all this influx of emotions and images. And sometimes when we are still in a trauma state, or we don't know how to deal with our spiritual gifts, it can be extremely overwhelming. But as your masculinized energies are healing, because masculine is about the ego, how do we act and react in public? There's being the person who it is that you truly are, then there's behaving like the person that is appropriate for the situation. But underneath courage, we do have message. And this is, I'm getting a sense of unity right here. You're learning how to have a healthy relationship with your own inner masculine energy, because you more than likely have been really, really hurt by people who are jealous. You thought you were acting like yourself, or if anything, you're behaving in a way, again, your ego is behaving in a certain way that you felt like it matched the situations that you were in. I talked about this, I think, in a recent channeling. How do you behave with the person who's behind, at the grocery store? How do you behave with a stranger who's giving you some weird vibes? How do you behave around your family? How do you behave when it's just yourself? How do you behave around your pets? There's something about understanding who it is that you are on the inside, that feminine energy, and then being a particular way in order to protect yourself. Here's the thing, you're actually probably one of those people that know how to put on a good, confident face. And even better, a lot of you probably had the bravery just to be yourself, that your masculine energy, the mask of masculine, was actually pretty authentic to who it is that you were. But oh man, it's like people beat you down on it. It's as though people were intimidated by it. It's as though they tried to crush you. But for the sake of trying to remember who it is that you actually are, you need to remember. This activation is going to be about you remembering who it is that you are from the inside and how it is you need to act outwardly. This is a childhood wound that is coming back up to the surface. And this is you overcoming bullying, jealousy, and just recognizing that you've had a lot of people who've tried to bring you down just because they are supremely jealous. You get to be the person who it is that you truly want to be. So, if we haven't met yet, my name is High Priestess Berries, psychic, medium, and divine channeler, hoping to bring you a message. Now, always remember, my messages are candid, unscripted, but they're also timeless. So please tap into your instincts, listen to your intuition. If there's anything that I talk about that doesn't make any sense, totally fine. Do not worry about it. This message may not be for you, but if it does resonate, please let me know. Drop a comment below. So, I'm because I'm sensing there's this childhood wounding that needs to be addressed. I have grabbed the tarot for kids because I think a lot of you guys, because of this new moon in Virgo, you're going to be remembering key details of your life. And this will be especially strong if you've dealt with a divine masculine, say in a twin flame situation, or this could be dealing with manipulative tactics regarding family or even the workplace. Um, it's whoever this is going to be someone that you kind of rationalize their bad behavior. You really wanted to see the best in them, and they still came up short, especially if they love bombed you and they gave you so much attention and an affection, and then they up and shifted and changed and became a completely different person. And I think a few of you have struggled feeling like, well, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I should have done this. I should have done that. The woulda, coulda, shouldas are absolute poison. And they trick your brain into thinking that something happened when it didn't. And that causes repression, that causes you to remember things differently. But there's something about the next few weeks that you're going to remember who it is that you are, and you're going to remember how this person actually treated you. So before I go to cut, 8 of Swords underneath the deck. And this is the self-limiting belief. Like, whatever memories that are going to be cropping up to the surface regarding this divine masculine, you need to remember how it is they actually treated you, not what you hoped they were doing, not you rationalizing, thinking maybe they meant something different by it. You have some forgotten memories that need to be remembered. And I am going to say right off the bat, if you don't hear anything else that I'm talking about in this entire channeling, breathe. You need to get this person out of your energy. Because if you have anybody else's energy within you, you can't properly cleanse. You can't get back to yourself. You can't get to know who it is you truly are as long as you try to pretend to be this person or try to match their ego. There's something about the way that you try to be empathetic, create rapport with people in the name of either survival, friendship, community. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. You thought you were doing the right thing, but it gave this sort of narcissistic personality a chance to trick you. And after that, we got 7 of Wands. It's kind of cool because I think yesterday's channeling, we had a bunch of 7 of Wands, like taking the higher ground, actually willing to stand up for yourself. Because whatever childhood wound we need to talk about, it's the one where you let your guard down. What's underneath here? Yeah, 5 of coins. You knew you should have defended yourself. You rationalized it. And in some ways, even it's like you were willing to let them behave a really shitty way because there's a part of you that couldn't believe that they could have been that bad. And I have to say, and I hope this makes sense, when you're dealing with somebody, especially someone who's narcissistic or toxic, and you still keep trying to find the best within them, and you're having a difficult time proving that there's any good within this person, that's a reflection of you. You can see the best of yourself in this person. You can see yourself getting out of that mentality. You can see yourself getting out of narcissistic or toxic paradigms, but it's unfair because you're not pouring all that attention and love into yourself. And there is a manipulation wound that needs to be healed. So, oh, what the fuck do you think is going on? So we do have the Moon Queen, and this is the High Priestess in the deck. Like, this is the High Priestess activation. And again, if you're a dude, this still completely applies to you because your queen energy is the part of you that observes, takes things in, seeing the signs and the synchronicities. Because I said earlier, your psychic abilities are becoming extremely activated, and you're going to start seeing the little glimmers and the curiosities. They're going to be adding up to something that manifests in your reality. Again, not to put you into a situation that would be toxic or dangerous. This time it's being used to make sure that you can stay out of toxic and dangerous situations, because this childhood wound, especially if this came from a parent, it's sort of like as a child, you want to believe that your parents, you kind of believe your parents are God, regardless if you believe in a God or not as a kid. Your parents are the authority, especially ages 0 to 6. And you've had people and grown-ups around you who've misled you. They've lied to you. It could be like a lowercase L lie or an uppercase L lie. But what the fuck is actually going on? 9 of Swords. I'm getting this more like in your dream state, whether if this is you're falling asleep, having a difficult time sleeping, or maybe the daydreams, those premonitions coming up to the surface. It's going to be so important that you don't allow fear to guide you. Like, you need to honor your fear because, again, this childhood wound, it's sort of like you had a fear, but an adult didn't take you seriously and they actually shamed you for having fear, and it was not the right place nor the right time, and they probably didn't tell the lesson quite well. But this is being resolved because you actually did have a premonition about a family member, especially if this was like a child where it's like, I don't want to be hugging my family members. They make me feel weird. Or, trying to ask for help from a bully from school, or even asking for help when it comes to homework and not having the proper support that you can keep up with your classmates. These are some old memories of feeling stupid or feeling as though someone has been lying to you, as though someone's not being honest with you. Like, this has culminated your entire life. What can you release at this time? 4 of Cups. Sometimes we think that having psychic abilities, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. I can predict everything and I'm invincible. Well, I know that you may not literally think that. There's always that voice that can override our common sense. But there's also the other aspect of our psychic abilities where it's like, oh man, like, I thought that my psychic abilities were bringing me towards a pile of money, but really it led me down a path where I need to evacuate from my house. Both are valid and both are true. Like, your psychic abilities are just there to subconsciously guide you, because when we're constantly conscious, like the physical consciousness of our brain working, it's a lot of energy to focus. It's a lot of energy to, learn something. It's a lot of energy to be in the moment. Your subconscious knowing is there to kind of do all the automated tasks, remembering to breathe, hey, maybe your heart should keep beating. If you're ADD, constantly remembering to move around just because that's just how the energy flows through your body. But don't be disappointed if it's not as grand as you thought it was supposed to be. There's actually an appreciation for the details of what your psychic abilities are capable of showing you, whether if that is, directing you to the pile of money. And if that happens to you, please share that story because that just sounds awesome. I'd love to celebrate with you on that one. Tell me your secrets. But also just recognizing that, hey, it's making sure that you don't go into harmful situations with this old wound that you picked up from, family growing up, or maybe more recently from a partnership. You had a concern and they told you to shut up. You felt a little bit weird about something and they tried to physically force you to do something you were not interested in doing. Like, you've had a lot of people try to tell you what your intuition is saying. And at the time, you thought they had the authority, but there's something about you establishing your own authority as the high priestess and being open. It takes great courage to listen to your intuition and also just recognizing that other people might have opinions. But I think a lot of you are learning how to honor your privacy. Just because you get a thought in the top of your mind, it doesn't mean you need to share it with everybody. It just means that your higher self, your subconscious is trying to connect with you, send you updates. And in many ways, that your conscious mind and your unconscious mind can actually build up some healthier rapport. Where can you focus your energy? Ten of Swords. It's a time for healing. Like, while this is a Ten of Swords, like, nobody's getting hurt. There's nobody in the card. In some ways, this is having some meditation time and just allowing a lot of these old thoughts to crop up to the surface. You need to remember. You need to remember why you doubted your intuition. You need to remember who actually lied to you. You need to remember how people deceived you, not to bring up the emotions to the surface so that you can, what's the word I'm thinking of? So that you can relive and be angry and resurrect old emotions. In order to heal it, you got to feel it, but you can't feel it until you see it. Your guides are trying to show you something that actually happened, and your brain rewrote the story in order to survive, in order to fit a narrative, in order to, in some ways, appease the monsters of your past. It takes, again, great courage for you to sit in your authority. It's one thing to stand in your authority, but to sit within your authority and knowing what is an opinion versus what your intuitive knowing is. As you are able to, first of all, have a little fun with these psychic abilities, just recognizing that, hey, I can see it coming from a mile away. I don't always know what it technically means, but when the moment happens, I know that I was given a heads up so that I don't need to panic. I can just act in the moment and do what's best for me. Moving forward, recognizing that you got some bad advice growing up, you got some bad advice from other people in authority, but that advice was only rooted in their jealousy because they wanted to feel important. They wanted to be the ones in authority. They wanted to make sure that they always had a level up. Healing that, forgiving it, and moving forward, how are you going to feel at the end of all this? The lovers, the best friends. Like, a lot of this has to do with you finally putting to bed a previous version of yourself. We have been talking about that a fair bit on this particular channel because a lot of you guys are just trying to find new friendship, new partnership, and opening up a gateway where you can start creating a sense of community, one where you can always have each other's backs without having to worry about surviving or rising to the top, trying to fight your way to the top. This is camaraderie that's incoming. So let's get one final message And this is still kid themed. Where's my Okay, we're gonna go spoopy. Like there's something very lighthearted I really want you to take advantage of, I got the Emperor at the base over here. Like that is divine masculine energy. Um it's sort of one of these things where you get to know your feminine side when you connect with another masculine. Two masculines can equal a feminine energy, and you can look at the contrast and you can look at what is the same, what is different, and what is alike. And you're going to be having way more friends that are going to be available to you, that are going to be supportive, maybe not in awe of your gifts. In some ways, you don't need to prove your psychic gifts to these people. You can just be. And in some ways, this feels a lot less stressful because you don't have to worry about trying to impress this person or worried that they're behaving like the jealous people of the past. This is about cleansing who it is that you are so that you can feel empowered in your current reality. So let's go ahead and cut. Let's get a final message from the universe. Oh, wow. Okay. Got Five of Swords, the Fool, ooh, along with the Seven of Cups, Page of Swords. Just end this. End this mentality. Acknowledge it for what it is. This is radical transformation, but this is transformation you're taking ownership of. You have something brand new incoming. You have a soulmate that is incoming, someone that you will be able to sort of match their frequency. This is somebody that will be even keeled. And even though they're going to be going through some of their own bullshit, you can just watch them and honor them. Like this person, they may not even understand the concept of spirituality, maybe in the way that you do, but even though it's sort of like this person, they're going to feel spiritual in their own unique way. They're actually going to show, it's like they're going to send you signs and synchronicities. They think they're being fun and cute, but you know that they're sending you information on a spiritual level. This is a really profound connection that you're going to be meeting and hearing. This is going to be inevitable. Someone that you can have a conversation with, someone who will be able to accept you for who it is that you truly are. I'm just saying, wow. Well, whoever it is that you are, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. If you need any further support, please take the time to book a private reading with me. You could also commission your own personalized tarot video. Otherwise, subscribe, like, join us here. Because if you're really resonating with this, your psychic abilities are coming back online. It's time for you to get to know yourself. Otherwise, when I see you guys at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.